Hello and welcome, my Gemini collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign. Welcome to your Path of True Love read, timeless Path of True Love read, whenever you're watching this, but doing it at the end of January to include February 2021. I am your reader, Mark Angelo Lyons Mal, for short, professional witch, professional intuitive, president of Drawing the Circle Productions, the Archangel of Lions, Mark Angelo Lyons. You can call me Mal. Hi, how you doing, my gems? Really glad to be doing the Path of True Love readings. Gives me a little breakity break from all of the twin flame soulmate stuff going on planet Earth. Oh, please, my clients are bringing them to me, so it's fine. But a Path of True Love read does indeed sometimes include twin flame soulmates, soul contracts. This is what am I doing? We're doing a 12-card spread, 10 of which is the Celtic Cross spread, a GPS reading, if you will, about where you are on the Path of True Love. The Path of True Love is your spiritual path, your spiritual awakening, your healer's journey, your hero's journey through the lenses of your relationships throughout your life, reason, season, lifetime, family, friends, lovers, all relationships. Part of your highly individualized curriculum for your soul's development in this lifetime, but probably reaching into other lifetimes as well, right? We take the reincarnation thing into consideration here at Drawing the Circle Productions, because it just is what it is, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to remember that this is a general read, right? Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. We're going to use the Caroline Myss Archetype deck to identify your dominant archetype, soul power being developed, alchemized from lead to gold, healed from toxic to healthy, however you want to look at that, on the Path of True Love. And we're going to pick another one for whoever is crossing your path. So the first two cards down will be you and who crosses your path, just like you can do with the Celtic Cross spread, and then we'll do the Celtic Cross on top of that. So whether it's romantic or sexual or family or any of that, we won't know, but there is an extended for this. And you see all those over there? Those are all, like, you can't even see all of them because the camera cuts off right around here. There's a whole lot of cards in the extendeds, and the extended readings have been very intense, and I'm glad for it. So if you want to jump over to vimeo.com for that, the link is below. All my info is below. You want to book me for a personal reading, just find me on Facebook or a similar platform. I'm on Instagram, and we set it up. It's very easy to do, because this is what I do for a living all day long. Taking calls and doing readings and making these vids, which is sort of amazing. So let's do what we got to do here. Just stay in the present moment as best as you can, both feet on the floor if possible, and breathe. Here we go. And here we go. My collective pantheons of angels, goddesses, gods, the ascended masters of true love, and the higher selves of all involved for this Gemini collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign watching this video, cross-watcher or otherwise, please. Oh, and there goes the heat. I turned it down. It turned itself back on. That's what happens in a witch's cottage, witch's condo, whatever. Please, my pantheons, one to represent this Gemini collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign on the Path of True Love for timeless February 2021 or timeless. And who crosses them on the Path of True Love, my beloved pantheons? Who crosses them on the Path of True Love? January, February 2021. That's good. Those are the only two of those we need. Let's see who we've got here. Wow. What an interesting combo. You are represented by the Virgin archetype. Now, take it more symbolically than literally, most of you. And who crosses your path is the Midas Miser. Now, this is the feminine family of archetypes, but believe me, men can have the, well, talk about that in a minute. And the creative family of archetype Midas and Miser, real lead to gold, quite wonderfully illustrated here, but let's start with you. Now, this is an archetype that comes and goes in my life. You can have an archetype, a reason, a season, or a lifetime. Read Sacred Contracts by Carolyn Mace. This is our archetype deck, right? The shadow attribute, which is what you are facing, the lead, the stuff you don't want to look at on the path within yourself, or if you are aware of it, you don't want anybody to know about it, stuff you want to keep in shadow. Fear of intimate union, and that doesn't mean you can't be knocking boots. It just means there's no emotional thing there, right? It's purely mechanical, purely physical, even chemical. It's wonderful. But in terms of intimacy, there's no vulnerability, all right? But the light attribute, maintaining symbolic purity of heart and spirit, which might very well be, chips, dips, chains, whips, whatever it is that it was, but I'm doing this because I choose and because I know you choose to, right? So there's a purity of spirit there no matter what the agreement is. Now, to say immediately that this is a romantic sexual contract, I don't know that. This could play itself out in so many different ways, but now get the Midas miser and the shadow, hoarding money and emotions. So before I even go further, hoarding money and emotions and fear of intimate union, this sounds like a little twin flamey to me, but in the shadow, of course, it would be. Hoarding money and emotions, obsessive fear of losing your wealth. So Gemini, what relationship are you in where you're really perhaps struggling with your peer? All right, so here's how the Virgin archetype manifests for me. I have no planets in Gemini, so I can say this without fear of being involved in this reading, I would hope. Two things in particular come to mind. The number one is something Carolyn Mace said, actually talking about the Virgin archetype, and it clicked so intimately with me. I knew that I had it. If there's a stick of butter on the table, you know, like a family dinner or whatever, and it's all like hacked up with breadcrumbs on it, I'll pass. I'll have my bread without butter, thanks. I like the little individually wrapped ones. Otherwise, my own stick of butter is pristine at home, right? What are you skeeving me? Yeah, I skeeve you. Sorry, it's just my upbringing. But the other thing is, oh my God, people are like, yay, we're going to do karaoke. I'm like, oh, go have fun. Oh, if people sing off key, it just goes through. It's like a rusty rake across an old-fashioned chalkboard. It just really, really is. So that's what I mean. It's like a symbolic purity in some way, shape, or form. The Midas miser, however, right? Hoarding money and emotions, obsessive fear of losing your wealth, that can be part of the Virgin schemata as well. But the light attribute, entrepreneurial or creative ability to turn anything to gold, delight in sharing life's riches. Now you put that together with maintaining symbolic purity, meaning honor, loyalty, compassion, that kind of spiritual purity. These two could go a long way together. But again, the lead to gold, the shadow to light balance is what the path of true love is all about. Look, nobody's born pure lead. Nobody's born pure gold. It's all a hero's journey for all of us. So let's get up in this gate. Let's get our 10 major arcana cards. I'm only using the Daughters of the Moon Tarot here for the more internal aspects of this, right? More your personal experience. We'll take that as it hits the table, but we are going to be clarifying every card of this with the Mythic Tarot to look at more the external circumstances of it. So you'll know intuitively if this is your reading by the end of this, I would think, if you haven't already. And then we're going to just go wild with all of those other cards over there on this until I feel like it's done. Because you know what? So far, the extended readings have been close to an hour, right? They've been like 52 minutes, 54 minutes. So I'm giving you the best that I got with the intro music and the titles and all of that, because, yeah, might as well. All right. Take a nice deep breath. Gems. Let's see how outrageous, truly outrageous, truly, truly, truly outrageous this is. Breathe. Ah, yes. My goddesses of air and the sign of Gemini, please. We'll do this top 10 cards. Top 10 cards, top of the deck for the Gemini Collective. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs on the path of true love, represented as this Virgin in the card that covers them, crossed with this Miser in the position that crosses them on the path of true love. January, February 2021, or timeless, whenever they are so guided to find this video, this reading, please. I hear you. Thank you. Maiden, mother, crone. Nothing like a clean cut. Oh, right. No more shuffling necessary. Let's get up in this gig. All right. So you, the card that covers you, the archetype that is representing you, or the soul power you are alchemizing, is the Virgin, crossed with 3 of Cups. So your experience already with this person is an emotional bond. This has got to be somebody that you know. This has got to be somebody that you have some sort of emotional connection with, because it is either a reunion or a friendship already in play, right? Celebration. You're happy to see this person. So this kind of feels like, with that Virgin thing, that there is something pure and light about this from the Virgin's point of view. Perhaps if it's in the friend zone or a friend, that intimacy shifts from not just being romantic sexual intimacy, but also keeping someone more as a friend, an acquaintance, than somebody who's really let in. All right, for the Midas Miser, the Midas Miser is got the Devil card here in this deck, Daughters of the Moon, the card of oppression. Fiona Morgan splits the card into 2, this and the Coyote. We'll see if Coyote Woman shows up. It is a feminist deck. So this is the Devil card. So this Midas Miser, I'm going to say, is in their shadow, hoarding money and emotions, obsessive fear of losing their wealth. So now I'm going to say, with that Virgin card there, it really does strike me that that could very easily be, you might have some planets in Virgo as well, and I would take a look at that. Particularly with that thing of the purity here and wanting to keep the relationship. If someone is in chains and hoarding their emotions, or has such a fear of losing their money, I mean, I suppose roles could exchange and things like this, but then again, if you're cross-watching, you know what's really tricky? When you have the same sign as somebody else, like you're watching your sign, but sort of like you're cross-watching at the same time. You know what I'm talking about? Comment if that is so, because I'm like, you really have to go with your gut with that to feel that one out. But obviously this person is feeling oppressed, or at least if you wanted to go, because the 3 of Cups for me is also, to me, a card of empathic bond, meaning that you might actually be feeling each other's emotional fields, so to speak, particularly if it is soul contract based, like Soulmate tends to do that. Then they're dealing with fear. They're dealing with a crushing fear, but one that, like in every Devil card, there are ways out of. Nothing to fear but fear themselves, and they must have access to that entrepreneurial creative ability to turn the lead to gold here and then share, right? So like so many people, how many of us feel like we have something to share if financially we're strapped, when really the love, the compassion, the communication, haven't we learned that this past year, right? What are the bricks holding them down? Now, I will also say, with this card, there's a woman buried under those stones, and the stones are faces. Those could be the fearful thoughts of others. That could be the fear of what others will think, tribal dictate, chains that only you can snap, or at least, like the Devil card in, right away. Just like, take that thing off and walk away. Interesting couple. What is it that you don't see? What's going on in the subconscious here? Well, 3 of Pentacles, really lovely match to the 3 of Cups here for the Virgin. I do feel like for some of you, these are going to flip-flop back and forth, which says to me that there is mirroring going on here, right? Because you both have that thing in the shadow of, well, him, her. It's not the Midas, right, withholding emotion, and you with a fear of intimacy. Right? There are chains around here, but what this says is that underneath you both know that there's something solid and stable and workable here, and that the 2 of you would work well together. It's like I said, together, these 2 could probably go really far. Really, like both oars, right? Like 2 oars. You just get one, you got to do this. You only go this way, you go in circles, right? So something very stable here, but it feels like the 2 of you either aren't unaware, you're either unaware of it or not getting that. You may be aware of it, but there might be that fear of, this could be something, which leads this then to leaning more towards a romantic sexual read. But let's keep going. What's in your behind? Where you been? Well, the Strength card. So for you, if you are identifying as the Virgin with the Three of Cups, as these spreads are set up to be, from my thing as a reader, then you are in a place of really claiming your own power in the past here. Not just strength in terms of independence, but courage, right? Like moving forward on your path and literally moving in the direction of this Three of Cups with the Virgin. So you probably had to endure. To me, the card of Strength is more about emotional endurance. Like to allow yourself to feel everything that you're feeling without necessarily letting it possess you and take you over. Like shadow work is very bad, right? Well, and it does feel like that there is some shadow work here going on, hopefully, eventually, with this Midas Miser that crosses your path. But I get the feeling that that's what allows you to keep this in this Three of Cups sort of friend zone, or at least good feeling between the two of you. And again, this could be a friend as well, but you're coming from this place of sort of almost purity of heart, but not that there's something to be built upon here, something stable, but I don't get the feeling that you're ready to tip your hand on this one. And it's an odd feeling I'm getting here. What crowns? What's like coming into being immediate future? A third three. Three of Blades. Now I know often thought of as heartbreak, but in this deck, not so much. It really speaks to the element of air, of thought here. Focus. A maiden, a mother, and a crone. Focusing their energies into a central third point. Now in the background, we have both a pyramid and the Sphinx. So oftentimes, I mean, obviously the pyramid has threes in it, but the Sphinx, really putting your mind to a riddle, right? The riddle of the Sphinx, to a mystery, to get to the heart of the matter of something. Now, I feel that's really for you, and of course we're going to clarify that not just with the mythic tarot, what that looks like on the outside, but it does often speak of introspection, getting to the heart of the matter of something intellectually, not really getting the heartbreak of that. Like that's the next thing coming in. I mean, if there's a heartbreak here, it really feels like it's more on the part of the Midas Miser, if you're kind of feeling the Three of Cups. But I will say, oh, well, look, your fifth position, your first position, and your third, that interesting vertical line there, it's all threes. 3, 3, 3. What comes of this? Okay, what's before you? Here we go. This makes sense. Going from the 3 to the 9 of Blades, criticism. Now, the 9 of Blades is, yes, stuff that keeps you up at night, but criticism is very much focusing in on something. So a lot of introspection, a lot of looking inward, blah, 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 but because you're feeling deep inside here, there is something here. I love this card. Clay Woman, Aruru, she takes the dirt beneath her feet, right? Takes the clay from the soil, sculpts it, right? Prepares it into something. But this is before it goes in the fire. This is when it is still mutable, malleable clay. So there is something coming together here. But with that criticism card, and you know, criticism, it's not all about nagging. It's like critical care, critical math, critical writing, critical thinking, really a focus of something here. And going from the card of focus to criticism, and I gotta say, there's a little bit of a Virgo energy in here with the Virgin card, and we're known, I'm Virgo, we are known for criticism. But, you know, if it's something that's really important, if it's something that like, don't you want your lawyers to look over your contracts with a critical eye, right? To make sure that every T is crossed, every I dotted, every I dotted. Yeah, every clause or loophole that you want in there and that you don't want out of there. I feel like there's some overthinking going on here. Okay, what? We've got 2 air cards on the table, one after the other, but it goes from a 3 to a 9, that triples itself. Again, a thing of threes, of threes, of threes, of threes. There might be a third party thing here. And I don't like going there right away as soon as I see threes, but it might very well be that. It might very well be that. What is the lesson? What are the gods trying to teach you in all of this? Ace of Pentacles. There is huge potential here, but it's all in an ace. That you are learning how to either start over from scratch or start something here. I'm just wondering if this Midas miser is the one with the oppression, or that you feel like with an empathic bond that you can't approach them. Right? That there's something oppressing you, or there's something that stands between the two that is oppressing the actual relationship itself, because there is great potential here. And there's been a journey of strength here, no question. It's like there's been a lot of emotional endurance here. This feels like somebody you know. And that you're coming into this place of purity. And with this Three of Cups, yes, if that is feeling like your heart is a bit divided, if this is really that, a third-party situation, then this is saying get to the heart of the matter. That's the next step here inside of yourself to really get, well, then what is the fear? What are the chains that bind here? And if it is an infidelity situation, a breaking of vows or something like that, the fear of that is not insurmountable, but certainly not new on planet Earth. Read the ancient myths, darling. It's how the Trojan War was started. But this is saying your lesson here, no matter how much you look at it, that there is a ripe opportunity here for a new beginning, a new physical, action-oriented, something in the soil, in the flesh and bone opportunity here for you. And you're being taught by it, or you're being taught how to take that seed and rather than crack it under your heel, plant it and make it into something beautiful. And the great thing about an acorn is that it is an oak tree in potential. And if it takes root and grows, it will give millions of acorns throughout its life cycle. Work. What's this look like from the outside? From the outside, you are going through a death transformation, the phoenix. Your entire life is transforming. You're in the crucible. So your purity, it's not that your purity is at stake. It's just you're kind of getting what this symbolic purity, right, of heart and spirit. I think you're coming into contact with what true love actually is, which means that there is also false love. And you might be in a relationship with somebody that it is false love, meaning conditional love. And I know we all have conditions. Oh, I love you no matter what, as long as you don't touch somebody else. And then doesn't mean you can't have boundaries, but I think that's what a lot of this thinking is about. In true Gemini fashion, there's a lot of thinking going on here, and it is fueling the fires of your transformation. Now, I often feel, I love Fiona Morgan's work. I really do. I love this tarot deck. I've read it longer and more than any other deck I've ever owned. This is actually my third version of it. I have two more of the black and white versions back there in the credenza, in my moss-covered three-handled credenza. I always see this card as the phoenix rising from, not going to the ashes, particularly because she has dressed her in white here. So it is that rising, right? The white through the red, through the black maiden, through mother, through crone, and then back again, right? Rising from those ashes. And at least that's what it feels like, right? Right? This is the internal, your experience, your internal lesson here. And your lesson, we're going to clarify it in the extended. There's a new opportunity here, but from the outside looking in, for how the world sees you, just giving off this vibe that my whole life I'm being transformed on the inside. But as a Gemini, you might be able to, right? Fear of intimacy, not let anybody really know that. Interesting, interesting, interesting. What is your destiny? Now, fate and destiny are not the same thing. If the hero takes the journey, they take the fate that's given to them, they can manifest their destiny. But will they do it as coward and suffer their fate, or hero and manifest their destiny? Well, you better take hero, because you got the heart of justice here. You are not going to be able to pull this off unless it is completely honorable and balanced, fair, and according to divine law and divine, whatever you want to call, you know, karma shmarma. I mean, I don't believe in punitive reward karma. That's a really Western version of it. Means action. This is about you being in balance. This is Ma'at, who weighs the human heart after death to determine whether you move on or you go back. And in some versions of the Egyptian Book of the Dead, your heart and soul gets eaten by a demon. That's a little pass-fail. I prefer the litmus test version, to be honest. So look, your destiny right now, where you are on the path of true love in terms of manifesting fate and destiny, I'm going to tell you, maintaining symbolic purity of heart and spirit. Come clean, right? Let that purity lead. Look, you may not be ready to open up your vulnerability to every single person on planet Earth, but this Midas Miser, I'm just wondering, with that card of oppression, it could go either way in a general read. Either they're oppressed and can't get to you, you're feeling that you can't get to them with that oppression, right? That's your internal experience of them. This whole situation is oppressive. You know, it could also be both ways. But with 3 3s in a row there is a solid foundation here that may very well be investigating. And I feel like that's what this 9 is about. But if you're going to go in and do the mental work, you're an air sign, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, Gemini, then know that the lesson that you're doing is to see the potential here. That, yes, it may just be an acorn, but an acorn planted and tended, a thing of abundance for, in some cases, I don't know, centuries, but there must be some century-old oaks. Of course there are. Primeval forests, you know, and all that. Do this honorably, right? That's your job in this, regardless of what anybody else is doing around here. Last card down, the outcome. 8 of Cups. Now, I know 8 of Cups like, oh no, walking away. Well, this is walking in too. This is a woman who got on a boat, a rowboat, with a torch and rowed with a torch. Not the easiest thing to do, I would think. Not that I've ever had to do it, honestly. And following a trail of cups into a cave, right? I feel like your 6th position and your 10th position here are saying the same thing. You are going within to connect with that virgin archetype purity in you for the purity of heart and spirit, to be reforged, to be, now I would use the word tempered, but that invokes the imagery in the word of the temperance card. This is different. Although the process of tempering steel, if you've never seen it, go watch it. Just while you're on YouTube, just put in tempering steel and just watch what they do to it. I mean, they apply such heat. It is a process of alchemy, in my opinion, but symbolically speaking, very much the death card, and very much indeed the facing of the fears that oppress us. Now, even just looking at this oppression card, I can tell you, there may very well be a lot of people's opinions about this relationship, which leads me to think the two of you have a past together. But you have really endured quite a lot to bring you to this place of peace, this virgin archetype with the 3 of Cups. It feels good, but it also feels light. I just wonder if it is to cover up the deeper potential that you know is here. Is there a risk? Of course there's a risk. Do I see you running towards it? No, I see you not so much running away, but going deeper inside to really learn the lesson. That there is, I can crack this seed under my heel or plant it. Will the virgin in you let you do that if she's healthy, right? Can you see, maybe you don't see that your whole life is being transformed from the inside out through this process, and that your destiny comes through honor, through balance, through justice, within yourself as well as without yourself. Your ethics, your conduct, your honor code, all of that stuff. This is the pass fail, the litmus test of hero or villain, how you want to play it. It could be for the Midas Miser too. It could be for both of you. It's not really a twin flame soulmate reading. It's an individual reading for one person, and this is who crosses your path. And I do not feel like this is a walking away so much as it is a going within and getting really clear about not just what you want or what you think, but how you feel, right? Bringing you to eventually that 9 of Cups, that, all right, I'm whole and complete into myself, so that maybe someone brings along that 10th cup. Not that you need another person to have the 10 of Cups, certainly not, that's ridiculous. But with this person who has crossed your path with all this potential, awful lot of major arcana cards, 1, 2, 3, where's the other one? 4 out of 10, not exactly half. There being air, there being earth here, but also a good balance of water. This is something with great potential here, but there does feel like some shadow work needed on both sides here. So May the Gemini collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs be blessed with all that they need. On the path of true love, January, February 2021 are timeless, that they may do the alchemy needed to really get in touch with that clarity and purity of spirit within their own hearts, to take this journey, to learn the lesson, to transform, to do it honorably, and to perhaps go deeper and deeper still, so that they know that they have the strength within them, that they can reveal their vulnerability, they can embrace intimate union rather than fear it, for their well-being, for the well-being of whoever and whatever this is at the center of this spread, and for the well-being of all concerned, known and unknown. So mote it be, and so it is. Thank you for watching. If you liked it, please like it. You want more, please subscribe. You want the Vimeo, because I'm taking a 2-minute break changing the camera, because I use the HD camera for the paid stuff. You pay the money, you're going to get the high production value, the best that I can give it, at least in my dining room. Otherwise, wishing you the very best and the very blessed on the path of true love. If this is where we part for now, hail, farewell, and blessed, blessed be.